Okay, so we're doing a fairly basic job today where we're taking some voice parts, making some rally sweepers for the rally that's on in Perth on the weekend, and just so we've got some topical stuff running on air. So
as Rally Australia throws up big chunks of dirt all weekend, 92.9 continues with big chunks of hits. It's an ad-free 50, which is not as messy.
So that's our voice part. We've got some sound effects here of the rally cars kind of zipping by. I want to try and get the sound of some dirt kicking up as well. So just going to have a quick look in the sound effects library. Okay, so I might have found a dirt sound effect. P7 track. Alright, so we got our kind of dirt effects. Might take that car and grab that dirt effects and piece the two of them together, and let's see how they sound. Need to get more volume in the dirt. Bring the car volume down a little bit.
As Rally Australia throws up big chunks of dirt all weekend,
so I want us to do a bit of the voice first, then the sound effects.
As Rally Australia throws up big chunks of dirt all weekend, 92.9 continues with big chunks of hits. It's an ad-free 50. It's an ad-free 50, which is not as messy. Which is not as messy.
That's basically all we need to do. Now what I'm going to do is just effect up the voice part here that goes.
It's an ad-free 50.
I'm going to throw a bit of kind of reverb sucking into it. So if we reverse the duplicated piece first, select it and a little bit more at the end there so that the reverb tail out can, it's got room to do its job. Pick a bit of a reverb. Boom. So now we have a reverse piece of audio with reverb on it.
Here's with your fantasy.
Okay.
Here's with your fantasy.
Reverse it again.
It's an ad-free 50.
There we go, nice sound. But so that it's not too overpowering, I'm just going to EQ it out as well. Kind of just EQ a lot of the bottom end out. So now
it's an ad-free 50.
You can hear the difference there, and then that coupled with the original voice.
It's an ad-free 50, which is not as messy.
Just gives it a bit of something else, so it's not just the same dry voice. Now,
as Rally Australia throws up big chunks of dirt all weekend, 92.9 continues with big chunks of hits. It's an ad-free 50, which is not as messy.
That's pretty much all we need to do to it. It needs to just be a fairly basic sweep because it's going to roll between two songs when it sits on air. So let's just get some other effects underneath the very first bit of VO, just so it's not too bland.
As Rally Australia throws up big chunks of dirt all weekend, 92.9 chunks of dirt all weekend, 92.9 continues with big chunks of hits. It's an ad-free 50, which is not as messy.
There we go. Now let's just set the levels on it. So, just going to watch my levels there on the meters. Get our voice ready to go. Just change the speakers down to my little mono speaker so we can listen down in low volume.
As Rally Australia throws up big chunks of dirt all weekend, 92.9 continues with big chunks of hits. 92.9 continues with big chunks of hits. It's an ad-free 50, which is not as messy.
You can peel that back a little bit because there's two lots of voice going together there.
Chunks of hits. It's an ad-free 50, which is not as messy.
Alright, so that's the voice. So let's solo out the sound effects now and just see where they're sitting. Kind of get the sound effects hitting up around the 0 here, and as you can see, kind of kicking around the 0 there, peaking at that, and the voice peaking around about -1, -2, and then kind of set that, and then have a listen to it all together, and just make sure that you can hear the voice clearly. Everybody's got their own different ways of doing it, their own different procedures, but hey, this works for us, so helps if we take that off and we hear it all together.
As Rally Australia throws up big chunks of dirt all weekend, 92.9 continues with big chunks of hits. It's an ad-free 50, which is not as messy.
Want the dirt to cut through a bit more, so I'm just going to normalise that piece of audio that the dirt's on, and
weekend, 92.9 continues with big.
There we go.
Weekend, 92.9 continues with big. 92.9 continues. Weekend, 92 big chunks of dirt all weekend. 92.9 continues with big chunks of hits. It's an ad-free 50, which is not as messy.
And that's basically it. So let's go.
As Rally Australia throws up.
Actually, it's a little bit sharp on that first. As we'll listen. Have a listen in the big speakers too. So let's. I'm just going to round that first crack of the A on as. Round it off a little bit.
As Rally Australia throws up big chunks of dirt all.
A little bit neater. Going to bounce it down to MP3. It's 320k, so top quality. Really sweet one.
As Rally Australia throws up big chunks of dirt all weekend, 92.9 continues with big chunks of hits. It's an ad-free 50, which is not as messy.
And there we go.